folks, it's my intention to come out here and chop some vegetables, but it looks like that might be coming a storm, a little lightning. Just give you a look around here. We got a little lightning going on. It don't matter. Basically what I'm working with right here, folks, I got some vegetables. I'm gonna chop up the vegetables while the ladies are out. They took Forrest G over to a well, Forrest G's busy right now. That's all I want to say. That's all I'm gonna say. He's out at an outing right now. I had this set up to barbecue on. He cooked some soup. But they ended up getting tied up. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna chop vegetables. Got my large 3.2 quart cast iron combo cooker all slicked out, ready to go. And if it starts going to rain, I'll just move my shit indoors. But you know, I like to cook outdoors. That's pretty apparent at this point, right? Now, I figured I'd just stand out here and talk to this camera. Now folks, today I'm shooting on the iPhone 8 Plus. Video quality may be a little bit different what you're used to looking at. But you know, it's so much easier to shoot video on your phone. One of the big reasons is not only can you shoot on your phone, you can edit on your phone. You don't have to transfer the footage off your phone. You know, typically you shoot with a, you know, any type of camera, GoPro, whatever. Then you got to download the footage to an iPad or a MacBook Pro, and then you edit it on there and take it from there. Now, yeah, it is pretty easy editing on. I mean, people have different opinions, but if you're using the computer, yeah, it's quick to edit, but you're still shuffling files around. It's a pain in the ass. You know, when I first, well, my first videos, I was using another Sony camera, but you know, there was a time where all I was doing was editing video with this iPhone, but the stabilization isn't that great. Now this is an iPhone 8 Plus. Obviously the stabilization and everything is improved, but on this particular model the stabilization is not great. The audio is not great, and so I tried out external microphones. Sometimes they work better, sometimes they don't. So I got away from the iPhone, but you know, use the heck out of that GoPro Hero 8. Still use it. Can't beat the stabilization or the audio on it, but it still takes more time when you're editing because you got to move that footage over, chop it on another device. You can literally take your iPhone, shoot the video, edit it on iMovie, which is free, upload it to YouTube. It never leaves your phone. Now, if you're really trying to run a YouTube channel, well, you need at least a. I mean, for me, I got to have a laptop. But if you're just doing if you're just doing YouTube for fun, you can do everything on your phone. Who cares? If you're trying to make money and make a living, make beer money, or turn it into a side hustle, you need a laptop to manage all the back end stuff. So, you know, I've said many times before, if you're running YouTube, there's a little bit in you that's a photography / video geek, right? You're always looking at new equipment, new phones. You know, I've been looking at some new cameras. But I think about it and I'm like, look, do I want to sink $1,500 into a camera? You got to follow me here. You sink $1,500 or $2,000, $2,500, whatever you want to sink into a great camera that shoots, you know, 8K. Well, after you film on that big 8K camera, excellent footage, you know, all these megapixels. Well, guess what? Then you got to edit that. You have to edit that footage. And I'm here to tell you that shooting 4K 60 frames, even 4K 24, it's not as bad, but you know, you're trying to chop 4K video and you're putting hours of footage into a timeline and editing that footage and burning it, it's hard on a computer, especially here in the heat. That's why for a while I have my office in the air conditioning room, because again, not because I give a shit about air conditioning, but my computers do when they're having to work hard to chop the 4K footage. So with all that said, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, MacBook Pro's on the fritz because it's just burnt up. So what sense does it make to go out and buy a big new camera that shoots even more detailed footage with bigger files than what I'm shooting on the GoPro and my Sony camera, because my computer is played out right now and it's not going to process it. So if I bought the big camera, I'd have to fucking buy a brand new computer that could process it. I said, you know what? And then GoPro just came out with a GoPro Hero 9. All right, now look. You know, like I said, I've used GoPro Hero 8 solid for the past year. Most of the videos on my channel that you watch were shot on the past year. Well, I'd say 60% of them shot on a GoPro Hero 8. Now they've got a GoPro Hero 9. Looks like a great piece of gear. You know, $350 if you get the deal with the subscription, so the price is not outrageous. And that's the thought, is to pick up the GoPro Hero 9, stay with the latest technology, what I'm used to, but it still don't solve the problem that if my fucking MacBook Pro takes a dump, now I'm looking at either having to edit on the iPad Pro the entire time, or you got to buy a new laptop. So, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of waiting until the iPhone 12 Pro comes out. It's probably going to be what, $1,600, and buying that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because not only are you getting a badass camera, you're getting the upgraded tech on the camera, the video, better audio. You can edit on that thing. And it's also an upgraded phone. So it's like you're buying two pieces of equipment, where if I go out and I'll buy a camera, that's one piece of equipment. Camera can't edit videos, polish them all, upload them, manage the channel. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I'm not buying any cameras. I'm not going to buy the new GoPro Hero 9. Because I mean, right now, knock on wood, my GoPro Hero 8 is working like it should. So if I wait until the iPhone 12 Pro comes out, I pick that up, I'm gonna start filming with nothing but the damn iPhone, unless I'm sitting in here or I need a zoom or better audio. Then I got that big camera. Still got the GoPro Hero 8 for action, rainy type deals, you know, climbing mountains, or I don't want to trash a phone. So why am I telling this big long story? Folks, believe it or not, you know, I get a lot of questions about what camera I use, what editing software I use. I get questions like that, I guess, like any YouTuber. You know, I've made several videos to cover that, but people still ask you the questions. So I figured I'd just, while I'm sitting here chopping these vegetables and I got to pay attention, got nobody to help me out with a camera, I just talk about YouTubes and cameras, right? If you were starting out a YouTube channel just starting out, the only piece of equipment that you really need is your cell phone. Okay? You can't monetize a channel, you can't go live, you can't do anything till you get so many subscribers and so many minutes watched. And if you've never done YouTube before, really all you need to be doing is learning how to post videos. And when I say that, you know, how to film the video, how not to fuck up the audio, because it's very easy to film a video. The audio is the challenge, that's the problem. That's why right now I'm wearing this lapel mic, this lav mic, because the microphones on the iPhone 8 Plus aren't that great. And plus, if I want to look away from the camera here, you can still hear me. Alright, I'm looking down, you can still hear me. I'm looking over here. Simple shit like that. You think it's just so easy. But the audio for me, and I think for most people, is the challenge, and the audio is more important than the video. Okay? Don't believe me? Well, people will listen to a podcast, right? In other words, a radio show. Podcasts are pretty popular, right? People just listening to your voice. So if all of a sudden the screen went out right now, you're still going to stay with me because you're listening to my voice. It turns into a podcast or a radio show. But tell me how many channels are running silent movies. Tell me if silent movies are popular. Not anymore. Ain't nobody gonna watch a silent movie unless, you know, they're into those classics. But they will listen to a podcast or listen to your voice when the video is not good. See how that works? Alright, so back to, if you're just starting out, you don't need to buy a camera. Not yet. You need to shoot some videos on your iPhone and figure out if YouTube is for you. Figure out how to do some basic editing in iMovie. If you've never done basic editing before, start out with iMovie. It's free. Don't spend no money on anything. I mean, look, I use LumaFusion. I use that because I can control my frame rates. And on iMovie, unless they've changed it, you can't control your frame rates. iMovie saves it. I may be wrong, but when I did the research, it said if you're shooting 4K, iMovie will save it in a 30 frame per second timeline. And I think if you're shooting 1080, you can save it in 60. I think it is. Anyhow, I use LumaFusion because I shoot in 24. I want to edit in 24 and save in 24 frames. I like that look, that film look. But if you're just starting out, all you need to do is pick up your phone, hit record, start talking to it. You know, shoot some action shots, whatever, do whatever you're doing, and then try to put a little video together in iMovie. It's free. You're gonna save that in iMovie. Then you're going to upload that clip to your YouTube channel from your phone. The footage never has to leave your phone. It didn't cost you anything extra. And that's how you start out. Because most YouTube channels, just like most blogs, you know, they're producing very little money, if any. And trust me, I learned that fucking thing the hard way. I'm still learning the hard way. All these big channels that are making big money, for every big channel you see that's making big money, there's probably what, fucking 10 million that ain't making no money, but you don't see those. Same with the blogs, websites. So, then, once you figure out how to basically create a small video and upload it, then you can kind of decide, do you want to sink some money in equipment? But I've kind of went full circle several times. Make videos on my iPhone, get away with it, get away from it, start buying camera equipment, shooting on that. I get tired of that, go back to the iPhone. And the thing that phones are not really good at is low light, because they got a small sensor, right? If you're gonna shoot shit at night, okay, might behoove you get a better camera. But folks, I used to shoot a lot of stuff in bars. If you'll look at my channel, I've got a lot of previous videos that were filmed in bars. I can't do it like I used to, because what do they play in bars? They play music. So you go to a bar and film a cover band with a DJ or some dance music, whatever. YouTube takes your money because it's all copyrighted. You don't make a damn dime off that shit, you know? So my subscribers like to see bar stuff. I like to go to bars, but when I take my camera and start filming, either A, they take all the money anyhow, or B, they block it in some countries, and then I've had some that just block the whole video because so many copyright claims, not strikes, but claims, the video ain't shown no more. It just goes into a black hole for some reason. So other low light situations which you might find yourself in, I mean, if you're, I don't know, like fucking chasing bats at night for research, or caving or shit like that, I don't know. But the average person, you don't need a camera. What happens is all these cameras back in the day, which were very relevant, now cell phones have basically made them irrelevant. So majority of people who buy cameras, it's because it's a hobby. It's not because you need them for work. It's because you like to shoot on that camera. But the majority of your viewers don't give a shit. They'll complain about the audio, but most of them don't give a shit about the video quality because they're watching it on their phones. So even when you shoot in 8K with that big fancy camera like the one I've been looking at, it's because it's a fucking hobby and you want it. It's not because it's a need. All I need is to have good audio, shoot on my cell phone, and just make sure the footage isn't too shaky. So you could say, all right, well, I got a brand new phone. How do I improve the shakiness? Well, you can get a gimbal, but it just makes it, all of a sudden you start putting too much shit together, right? So I'm not into the gimbal. I think at this point, from the footage I've seen from the iPhone 11 Pro, and what I think is going to come out of the iPhone 12 Pro, at least for me, all I need is a brand new iPhone 12 Pro. I'm not even going with the Max. The reason I'm not going with the Max is, well, I just want it to fit in my pocket better. I want to put that battery case on the back. And if the screen's too small to edit, you know what's great about dealing with iPhones and Apple? You just airdrop them to each other, right? It's too easy. With any other camera, you got to pop the case open, you got to get the memory card out, you got to create a folder, you got to drag it up. All these are steps. With an iPhone, you know what you do? Click, 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 airdrop. Boom, it's over there on the iPad. Edit on the iPad with LumaFusion. Boom, airdrop that file or upload it to YouTube. Depends on which I'm doing. It's too easy. I don't deal with memory cards. So that's another reason right there. Another reason right there. I'm probably going to revert to shooting most of my videos when I get it, an iPhone 12 Pro when it comes out. And I think I'll do fine. I don't think anybody's going to complain too much about the video quality. Now, if the internal mics aren't working, well, I'll just keep getting a, yeah, this lab mic, it's got a wire, it's in the way. You know, I get drunk, I might accidentally cut the damn wire here with this fucking Bear Grylls knockoff knife. Could happen, it's happened before. I've cut the wire. This ain't my first lab mic. Sitting here chopping vegetables and meat and chop the damn wire. That's a problem, but not a big problem for most people. But what I'm hoping is that once that iPhone 12 comes out, I don't need an external mic at all. On this 8 Plus, you do. It's just not good enough without an external mic. The iPhone or the GoPro 8 Hero Plus, or the GoPro 8 Black, the one I use, the audio is good enough. You don't need the media mod. You don't need an external microphone. That's another big reason I use that camera all the time. Where my iPhone 8 Plus, can't use it. Can't use the audio for the most part. I put a Rode Video Micro on this iPhone 8 Plus, and I was in a bar one time, and I'm not so up on the tech, but basically the noise was so loud that it was just shutting down the mic. People couldn't hear anything. I had to unplug the Rode Video Micro and let the iPhone do the work. Now in a bar, it wasn't like you couldn't hear what was going on. But if I were shooting on this with my music in the background with this rain here, if I didn't have this lav mic on, you probably could not hear what's going on. And that's a big ass carrot right there. My God, you could take this and hit it with a baseball bat, hit a home run. All right, I got like this little half thing right here. I may get rained out. My goodness. Folks, I'm not really worried about the rain for me. And the iPhone is waterproof, but my lav mic is not. So what we're going to have to do is move this little shindig over to here. And I think I'll be okay. Because a lot of times what these Southeast Asia rain showers, they're like Miami showers. Here, I'll just let you take a look at the rain while I keep chopping. But a lot of times these rain showers here, they're just like rain showers in Miami. You know, at least when I lived down in Miami in the summertime, I mean it would rain cats and dogs for what, like 2 hours every afternoon, and then it'd go right back to being beautiful. So I think I've got my lav mic out of the way here. Again, oh shit, the iPhone is waterproof, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, now speaking of that, all right, so you just saw another point that I was gonna forget to bring up, but the rain has forced me to bring it up. Oh, this damn carrot fell down here on the floor. Okay, if you are going to shoot outdoors, you're going to run the problem of running into rain. Okay, you don't have a problem if you're shooting on a GoPro. And guess what? If you're shooting on an iPhone, you don't have a problem. iPhone's waterproof. Now, I know you can take the iPhone underwater, but I don't. I just don't think it's necessary, right? If I'm going to take the iPhone underwater, I put it in a life-proof case, something like that, to make sure it don't get jacked up. But I'm not worried about this thing getting ruined if it gets a little some raindrops on it. Now imagine I was sitting here chopping these carrots with my big Sony camera, which a lot of times, you know, I shoot my cooking shows and my talking head videos with that because it's got great audio. It's a great camera. But guess what it's not, folks? That damn thing ain't waterproof. And if I see the first drop of rain coming down, that's the end of the show. Because I don't want to ruin a $1,500, $1,600 camera just because of a little bit of rain. That's the end of the shoot. Okay? Now look, I know some of those cameras are rated this, rated that, whatever. But your external microphone that you're going to have mounted on that camera is probably not rated. It's not waterproof. Guess what an iPhone is? It ain't gonna break if it gets a few raindrops on it. There you go. I have not stopped this show. It's basically turned into a podcast. I'm still chopping up this carrot, this never-ending fucking carrot here. And you're getting to enjoy the scenery of the rain here in the Philippines, just off of Subic Bay. I don't know, we're about a kilometer from Subic Bay, nestled up to these mountains. So there you go. There's another reason I just showed to you in real time that if you're shooting a video and you're shooting with your cell phone, you don't gotta deviate. Any type of big camera, you don't want it to get wet. There we go. And folks, I realize I'm kind of shaking it every time I hit that. But I've got it on this little short tripod, so I don't have it sitting on the ground. So if I had it sitting on the ground, you wouldn't see this thing shake. And I guess what I'm going to realize is that every time I did a cut of this carrot, you're seeing the phone shake. But you know what? Shit happens. As long as you can hear my voice, as long as you can listen to the narration, you'll stay with the program. You see what I'm getting at? So let's recap. Also, a phone is always what? It's always in your pocket. A big old camera, most of the time, is in your bag. It's in your bag and it's not even put together, or if it is, it's not ready to go. A phone is always ready to go. It's in your pocket. You know, you don't look as crazy walking down the street talking to a phone as you do carrying a big camera or any other type of device. Okay, so it's always with you. Pretty much water resistant. You can edit on it. Don't need external batteries because the battery life is pretty damn good on these things. Don't need external storage because the storage is pretty good. And now look, if you're going to get a phone, you don't already own one, and you're serious about getting into YouTube, get the phone with the biggest memory capacity. Yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit more, but if this is what you're trying to do to make a living with or to make beer money, at some point it'll pay for itself. Get the biggest amount of memory you can get for that cell phone. You'll thank me if you do. You want the big screen or not? I mean, I'm shooting, mine right now is the 8 Plus, but I'm going with the regular size screen, not the Plus, whatever that next version is. I don't want the big huge screen anymore. Just a change in preference. And I think with the iPhone 11 Pro, 11 Max Pro, whatever, they're basically the same specs. It's just a different, bigger screen. So for me, if it's the same spec, with the same RAM, I'm going with the smaller screen. Now with that said, what I was told when I bought this phone, I don't even know if it's true or not, but that the 8 Plus, the big screen, had an extra meg of RAM. I think this one has 4 megs of RAM. The regular one had 3 megs of RAM. That's what they told me. That's one of the reasons I went with the bigger screen. I wanted the most RAM I could get. So I'll caveat that if the iPhone 12 Pro Max, whatever the hell they're going to call it, has more RAM than the smaller one, I will go with the bigger RAM. But if the RAM is the same, I will go with the smaller screen because it's going to fit in my pocket better and just not be so bulky. Damn dogs over there. Folks, you never been to the Philippines? If you don't like roosters crowing, dogs barking, loud tricycles, karaoke, vidjoke music, yeah, you might not like it here. Philippines is not a quiet country. It's a loud country. Everything about it's loud. It's not like Thailand. Everything here is loud, including my old lady. she could be standing right next to my ear and she'd be like hollering. I'm like, baby, the people over at the beach can hear what the hell you're saying. All right, I'm right here, blasting out my eardrums. It's just a culture, folks. Gotta love it. All right, so that's about all I gotta say about what my next camera is gonna be and why. All right, let me throw a couple notables. Yes, Canon came out with the R5 and the R6. You know, we all thought those were going to be just beautiful cameras, and I'm not saying they're not, but I know that the one overheats from what I've heard, and I'm not dealing with no fucking camera that overheats. I bought a Sony RX100 Mark V, you know, probably a couple grand into that ecosystem. Big mistake. It was a 4K camera that would not shoot 4K video. Overheated after a few minutes, that was it. I mean, Sony got one over on me on that one, but I got to give them a pass because the first Sony camcorder and my second Sony camcorder are absolute champions. I swear by them. But the RX100 is not a good product. At least the Mark V for me was not. I don't care for that $2,000 mistake I made, but that's what happens. Overheating. Okay, you've got several of these big cameras that will overheat and shut down, or they've got shut off times on them, cut off times, for whatever reason. It's because the bit rate is too high, or you're shooting, you know, too high of a resolution, and the engineers rushed to get this thing to production and they didn't figure out the heat dissipation. Folks, this is an old ass iPhone 8 Plus. This thing has seen hell. We're at 30 minutes right now, shooting 4K, I think 24. But when I first got this camera, I set it up at the beach and hit record 4K 60, and it recorded until the battery died. There's no thermal shutdown, no time limit because of the time it was recording. That thing recorded, I don't know, go back and check the video. Hour, 2 hours, whatever, however many hours it went, but it didn't stop. There was no thermal shutdown. Now, if you live stream on the iPhone 8 Plus in the direct sun, it will do a thermal shutdown. But my point is, on some of these really expensive cameras, when you're trying to shoot 8K footage or 5K, whatever K you're trying to get up to, that nobody gives a shit about anyhow, the damn camera's gonna overheat. It's gonna overheat. And if it don't overheat, when you dump that footage on your old ass computer, then your damn computer's gonna overheat trying to crunch that crap. These are things that camera manufacturers don't really tell you about. They're pushing one product, they're in the business to sell what? Or the division of these companies. They're in the business to sell their product. Their product's a camera. They're trying to sell you based on bit rate, high bit rate, you know, 422, 10 bit, blah, blah, blah. They don't give a damn if your computer, your old ass fucking, you know, 6-year-old Acer with 3 fucking keys missing, they don't give a shit if your Acer can process that footage or not. That doesn't concern them. Their concern is to woo you with the bells and whistles to where you think you need this thing, and then all of a sudden you've got wonderful footage on a memory card that is too big of a file for your old ass computer to edit. You see how that works? That's sort of my dilemma right now, sort of what goes into my reasoning about why I'm going with the latest and greatest iPhone. Oh shit, a little tripod just took you down a notch. Because if I did go with, say, that Canon R5 or something of that nature and started shooting 8K video, even though I have a fairly new MacBook, well, a few-year-old MacBook Pro, folks, it's seen its better days. I've got to get a new computer. So not only would I have to, you know, spend $3 grand on this latest and greatest camera, folks, it's equal. It's another $3 grand to get a machine that can process that video and save it at 4K, 5K, 8K, whatever K you're trying to get to. And when I go back to my original argument, is that nobody, okay, 95% of people on YouTube, they don't care. Look at the big channels. A lot of them shoot 1080. They don't even shoot 4K. They don't even shoot 4K, but everybody's trying to stay up with the Joneses and get the latest and greatest camera. Again, it's a hobby. It's a hobby, but it's not, it's something you want, but it's not something you need to run a YouTube channel. Okay, so how many of you out there listening to my voice are shooting movies for Steven Spielberg? I can tell you right now, 0. I'll bet you the rest of this cabbage right here, I'll bet you all that cabbage that none of you listening to my voice are shooting movies for anybody in Hollywood. You're shooting movies for yourself or YouTube. And I'm telling you right now, I just think the best advice is just shoot videos on what you have. And if it looks like you're gonna make it a run where you're really gonna start cranking out some shit, right now, get the latest iPhone. Get the latest iPhone. Not only are you carrying a better phone, you're carrying a almost as good as a $4,000 mirrorless camera. Is it as good? No, it's not, especially when it comes to low light. Everything else, yeah. That's all you need. That's all you need is the iPhone. So, folks, I'm almost done chopping all this cabbage. And I don't know if I'll let this video run just to prove a point. I may just take you all the way through my cooking show just to show you that I can, like, I'm at 36 minutes recording right now. I may make this the longest freaking video to talk about what camera you need for YouTube, just to prove that you can film on an iPhone, edit and upload. This thing will never touch my iPad or my computer. Okay? Take a look at that. Look at the colors coming to you. And this is an old iPhone 8 Plus, right? It's not even the latest and greatest. Just got that cabbage over there. Got the Lodge 3.2 quart cast iron combo cooker. Got to wipe that thing off. Before this rain came, I had just spent like 20 minutes cleaning that thing up. Had a couple little rust spots on it, and now the damn rain has come. It don't matter. Got charcoal preloaded. Got the lid on there, so it ain't no big deal. And it looks like the rain is starting to let up. Love that palm tree and that mountain over there. My goodness. Okay, so let me get my stuff straightened out here. I may just go ahead and let's just keep running it, and let's see how long of a video we can take on the iPhone, successfully burn it, successfully upload it, and then everybody can judge the quality of a video shot on here. All right, folks, looks like the rain has stopped. Basically what I got going on over here, I got a couple pork chops marinating, and I've got some chicken marinating over there. But I told the ladies I was going to make some soup. So I'll put a little chicken in the soup. So what I'm going to do is just chop this guy up here. Just one piece of chicken to chop up. I'll put this chicken in. That guy looks clean enough. So by the time I get this chopped up, we should be good to go. All right, so let's see, I'm gonna have to spin this around, loosen this up, see if we can get the proper angle on the dangle. All right, now one thing that you're not gonna beat a GoPro at is getting the right angle. You're just not gonna beat it, right? You can position a GoPro any way you want to. So this cell phone right here, I've got on this little mini tripod. It's actually a GoPro tripod, but it works better. You saw how long it took me to set this thing up and get some type of angle? All right, well, take a big camera and see how long it takes you to get a big camera set up, because it's heavy and you know it's going to be tilting and what have you. You got a light camera, it's easy to get something set up, right? Like I said, it might not be a perfect angle, might not be a perfect angle on the dangle. And I'm going to try to reach over here, and I have plenty of room because this has got a real long cord on the lav mic, so it's no problem with me moving around. But I'll tell you a tip about the lav mic. You know, it takes a minute to get the thing clipped in the right area of your shirt with the right audio level. So once I get that thing set, I always just keep it clipped. And then if I've got to leave, I don't unclip it from my shirt, I unclip it from the phone and just throw it over my shoulder. And then when I come back, I just plug it back into the phone. No big deal. Now actually, this thing here is actually broke, the one I'm using, just a clip. I gotta get me a new one. I broke the clip off of it. What happened, I dropped it in the floor. I took it off my shirt, it dropped in the floor, and I stepped on it and I broke the damn clip. All right, so I'm just chopping up this chicken, basically just to put a little flavor in that soup. I mean, we're barbecuing, we got rice, we'll have some other stuff. But I just figured that this soup would be an added accoutrement, or potentially, I don't know, could be the coup de grace of this here meal. There we go. And folks, I know like the professional chef way to chop shit up, you know. But you know what the easiest goddamn thing is? Get a cheap ass pair of tongs like that to hold your damn meat or your vegetables, whatever you're chopping, and then you never chop your goddamn fingers. I'm gonna try to keep this video clean, free of cursing, but you know what? That shit ain't gonna happen. Light profanity. Light profanity is okay. Look at that. That's a beautiful picture there. All right, my ladies can clean that up for me when they get back. They don't mind. So there we go. That's what we're going to put in the soup here. Just a little bit of chicken for flavor. Saying make light. All right, you see how I'm picking this phone up? All right, try to pick up a big old camera. Try to pick up a big old camera and get it up in here like this. I'm not saying you can't do it. People do it. It's what they do for a living. A little bit more of a challenge. I'm looking for the Knorr flavor cubes. Oh, what's that damn? There you go, right there. Chicken. What is that? I can't see that. Is that a bird? It looks close enough like a chicken. So I'm gonna put 2 chicken flavor cubes into the soup. And again, I highly recommend that if you're going to use the Knorr flavor cubes, don't just use 1, always use 2. All right, now you can do this with a cell phone, with a light camera, with a GoPro. Try to do this if you've got a big ass lens on there and a Rode Video Pro microphone. Try to do what I just did like that, one-handed. Let me know how that shit works out for you. All right, folks, there you go. Looks like the rain is kind of subsided. And what happens in the Philippines, everybody goes back to work, but you got a big old puddle right there. Now what I got to do is somehow or another get this charcoal going. So check it out. Boom, right there. Quick adjustment on the little tripod. Now it is doing sort of a gangster lean. It's not perfect. The angle of the dangle is not perfect, but again, try to set up a shot like that as quick. When you're dealing with a gimbal, you're dealing with a big camera on a tripod, let me know how that works out for you. Had it preloaded, charcoal's dry, got the powder dry. Everything's dried up. I may need some more paper, I don't know. But the ladies broke my charcoal chimney, months ago. And I'm just blaming them folks. It broke on them. They didn't break it. Having a good joke with them, but you don't really need a charcoal chimney. Just put your charcoal right there like that. It's not as good, but it'll work until we get another charcoal chimney up in here. So we'll give that a few minutes to get that going there. You know what? I guess I could put this thing in there. I got a couple more pieces of cardboard that don't work. Okay, so here's another lesson where a cell phone is better, small camera, GoPro. If you're filming barbecue scenes, do you really want to put $4,000 next to a flame? Even if it's just a lens that gets cooked. Now I realize an iPhone can be $1,500–1,600 bucks. But I don't know, for me it's easier to manage it. It's easier to manage it if I was shooting a whole lot of like indoor kitchen stuff. I'd probably have it in a life-proof case, because it'd melt that, some type of protective case over the lens. It'd melt that before it melts the lens. But you got a big old camera next to a barbecue grill, you're just kind of scared to get it in there close. So the question is that small amount of paper going to be enough to start our charcoal here on this marathon video that we're shooting on the iPhone 8 Plus? I guess one of the reasons I'm doing this is just to prove to people who act like they can't get their YouTube channel started until they've got enough money to fucking go out and get $6,000 in debt to buy some camera equipment. Folks, I'm gonna shoot a 3-hour video on this iPhone, and I'm gonna edit it on this iPhone. I'm gonna prove to you that you don't need to spend $6,000 to start your YouTube channel. Reach into your pocket, pull your cell phone out, hit record, start talking to it. Point it in the general fucking direction of anything that you find interesting and start the narration. Okay? That's all you gotta do. And I hope I take 3 hours of footage, 'cause I'm gonna force this iPhone to chop 3 hours of 4K footage and show you it can be done. I think we are going to get a tune out of this trombone, but we definitely need more charcoal. As soon as I get this thing kind of a little bit more going, we do need more charcoal. I think I'm going to go ahead and dump it. Boom! There. That's it. In the Philippines, this is how you deal with the temperature control. We don't use lighter fluid or charcoal that's pre-impregnated with starting fluid or stuff like that. That's not made in a factory. That's made at somebody's house the old-fashioned way. They just took some wood and burned it, turned it to charcoal, and we don't use any type of accelerant, gasoline or anything like that. Number one, that costs money, and number two, it would change the flavor of the meat, so we don't use that. It's okay to use a little bit of paper. If I don't watch my old ladies, well, in the village, they might cut up a piece of plastic, which I argue that's worse as lighter fluid, but you just put a little more O2 to the fire triangle here to get it going. And sooner or later, it's going to get going. All right, folks, back to being plugged in here. I think I got a lot of my stuff I need. Get that large lid off of there. Now look, I'm working with this little weak grill, and if I put the grate on there, this thing is so heavy it just crushes it down. So what I'm gonna do first, you know, I'm not barbecuing first, I'm making this soup first. I'll just put that joker right there. It's a good thing about cooking with cast iron, folks. It's so versatile. It's indestructible. You can't tear it up. I don't want to put the phone too close because I don't want to melt it, but just put that thing over there. Maybe put me a piece of good solid charcoal right in here. Oh yeah, look at that. Just even that shit out. When it burns down, you need to kind of watch it, especially if you get it too full. Check that out. We'll just let that get hot for a minute. Now what I usually do is I saute the chicken, but I don't have any oil in there. There's no oil in the house. If I throw that chicken in there on that hot skillet, I don't know if it's gonna stick or not without a little bit of oil. Could risk it. See how it works out for me. Or it could just go straight in with the soup. Look at that. That thing going right there. I throw a little water in there first. I don't want that shit to stick all over my cast iron. Just get that going there. Yeah. Now, when you're cooking over open fire, open coals, there ain't no thermostat, you know. Thermostat is what I'm using right here. This is the thermostat. But I can assure you this, once you get the coals going, or you're cooking over an open flame on this, wow, folks, it's wonderful to cook. I stopped using my induction burner because the induction burner just does not get the cast iron hot enough for me. And it only heats the surface area where the induction is touching it. I think if you're gonna cook on an induction burner with cast iron, you need to have a very high wattage induction burner. That's just my opinion. Or, well, if you're cooking with cast iron, I don't recommend induction. That's just it. I've tried it every which way. The best way is cooking over an open flame right here, or gas. I mean, I guess you could say electric too, but electric over here in the Philippines is too expensive to be cooking on. It really is. That's why I went with the induction, because it was supposed to be more efficient. But I either did not buy an induction burner that had enough wattage to get this thing going right, or it's just not the piece of gear that you need when you're cooking with cast iron. I can only tell you my experience. See, that's already heating up. So I'm gonna, oh shit, splash right in my face. I'll throw this chicken in there, and what I like to do whenever I'm cooking anything with meat, I throw the meat in first, and I know people are gonna argue with me. Gordon motherfucking Ramsay gonna come over, try to tell me how to do shit. I don't fucking care, okay? Because the biggest thing for me, I got 2 babies, and plus I don't have health insurance, is I want to make sure there are no pathogens, fucking parasites, nothing in this chicken here. Because when you come to places like the Philippines and Southeast Asia, okay, you don't see refrigeration like you see everywhere else. Okay, the folks selling chicken right down below me, that shit's been in a cooler all day with a small block of ice. So I'm not saying that things are unsafe. I'm just saying that I don't take a risk. I don't take a risk in America. I take the meat goes in first. I put the motherfucking meat on the heat, and I make sure that that meat is done before I even come in with my vegetables. So I know 100% my final product, nobody's gonna be eating any meat that's undercooked. And that's just the way it's gonna be. I'm not apologizing for that. But when you've lived in the tropics and you've dealt with some of the ailments that I've dealt with, especially over the past 24 months, You watch some of my past videos, you will come to understand reasons why I don't fuck around with food safety. And I'm not talking about being scared to eat food that's sold on the street. Folks, I'm not scared of local food as long as it's cooked. If it's cooked properly, you know, what's the difference than their barbecue grill over there or mine? As long as you're cooking that food properly. But do you think I'm going to eat this meat or go on the street and eat something that's not properly cooked? No, I'm not. Would I go to America and eat some shit that's not properly cooked? No, I would not. All you folks that like to eat steaks that, you know, fucking blood red, just slap the hair off of it and warm it up. Well, you go ahead and you eat that. You go ahead and you do that. But man, fucking harness fire. You know, a few years ago, and we harnessed fire, and that's why we've lived as long as we have, because we learned how to get rid of the pathogens when we live longer. The folks, here's wife number one looking a little haggard, but showing up with my Forrest G. Just come back from a birthday party, looks like he's tired. And let me take a break and talk to them folks, and I'll get right back to the video. All right, my friends, Forrest G had a good time at the birthday party over there. Kids are starting to have birthday parties again over here, whether it's authorized or not. At this point, nobody gives a shit. That's just the way it is. It's not just me, the foreign guy, anymore. The locals are tired of this shit. They don't give a fuck either. Before I left and I went to America, the locals here were still scared of this situation that we find ourselves in. But when I came back 2 months later, nobody's scared. Nobody gives a fuck about wearing a mask. Nobody cares. Before, the only reason the main reason they did it, because they were scared. Yeah, the police come around telling you what to do, but they were truly scared. Now they're not, which is good to see. Even people here, the worst lockdown around the world during this whole situation, they know that there's no reason to be scared. Enough of the politics. Let's get back to this chicken and proving the fact that yes, you can make a long, beautiful, wonderful YouTube video with an iPhone, a cheap tripod, and I'm using a lapel mic. But actually, I'm hoping on that iPhone 12 Pro, when it does come out, that maybe I don't really need to use a lapel mic. I'm thinking by then they should have this shit worked out, folks. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Look at that. Look at that go. So that's it. Just let the chicken get the bubbling quicker than everything else. So while that chicken's bubbling, what I'm going to do is get these cubes. Here in the Philippines, they're called Nor cubes. And oh shit, that's pork. Don't matter. Throw one chicken, one pork cube in there. Flavor it up. The ladies are gonna complain that I don't put any magic syrup on there, but I don't like magic syrup. I don't want magic syrup. I'm tired of magic syrup. And that's just my personal opinion. But the Nor flavor cubes, I will go with those. That's just all boils down to personal opinion. But I'm tired of magic syrup. Because most dishes here, they're cooked with salt, pepper, and magic syrup. And after you eat that for a couple years, you get tired of it. Look at that. Just get that chicken to cooking where we know that it's done. We know that it's good to go. Maybe spin that around a little bit. Oh, there we go. Just kind of even it out on the coals. That's it. Folks, there is nothing like cooking with cast iron over open coals, open flame, open fire. And see, and you don't have to get this 100% done. It don't have to be 100% done before I throw everything else in. I just want to make sure that it has a head start, because I don't want to cook the shit out of the vegetables to where they just absolutely fall apart like tissue paper. I want that meat to get the head start to where I know once I hit these vegetables in here, there's going to be no doubt that the finished product, the meat, is cooked. All right, so let me get that in there right there. I probably did this backwards. I always overfill this, but you know what? I've been drinking beer. When you're drinking beer, shit happens. Oh! I'm about to get some more water. Get wife number one out here. You tonight. Little Merle Haggard. Wrong, start doing right. Listen to my Nashville video, folks, from when I was in America. Me and my old man went to Nashville. Partied like rock stars down on Broadway. Ended up in Tootsie's. Shout out to Peter B and the crew and the young lady. I mean, you talk about superstars singing, folks. Undiscovered superstars. But that's the way it happens sometimes, you know. Take a guy like Roger Ridley, who never got discovered. If you don't know who Roger Ridley is, check out the playlist on my channel that says Roger Ridley, best street musician who ever lived. You know, you listen to that man's voice and you're like, why in the hell isn't he a household name? You know, sometimes shit works out like that. Sometimes things just happen like that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pop that lid on there. And there you go. That's a Lodge 3.2 quart cast iron combo cooker. Made in America by the good folks down in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, my friends. Great piece of gear. The best piece of cooking gear that I own right now. As I said before, if you come to the Philippines and you don't like loud music, loud barking dogs, roosters, chickens, pigs, loud tricycles, well, maybe you want to pick another country. Let's let that sizzle zizzle. And then after that sizzle zizzles down, I'm going to hit it with the cabbage. Now, earlier I said I couldn't turn the video on because I had a glove on, but I was wrong. Folks, I can turn the video on or off with the glove, no problem. I don't know why I said that. Shit happens. So basically, I just keep my coals, make sure my coals are going. Let this thing sizzle zizzle. Let it sizzle zizzle, and I'm a one-man film crew. So again, if I'm rocking a big camera, you know, my big studio camera sits on a tripod over there. It's stationary the whole time. You got to shoot with a B cam to get angles like this, and then you got to sync that shit up, and you got to bring it all in together. You know, it's just more time. It's more time, more work to be done. Where I'm still shooting on my cell phone. Don't got to worry about anything synced up. I'm taking you on a tour here. You can see it kind of made a mess. All I got left is the cabbage. I am going to need some more water. Folks, this Yeti thing right here, you need to check out my video that says if this lid won't come off, watch the video. I'll just tell you, basically if you leave something in there, it'll ferment. It'll put so much pressure this lid won't come off. You got to watch that video. If your Yeti lid gets stuck on one of these things, I forget the name of them, but if they got a lid like that, it won't come off. Maybe you're looking a little haggard. You're looking beautiful, but a little haggard with your dress and your hair. And folks, she did get her nails done yesterday, so she's rocking some beautiful nails. Baby, could you help me clean up my cooking station here? I need one more thing of water, and I need one more beer, please. And you can take the Bear Grylls. You can take the Bear Grylls chopper. And you know what? Leave the Bear Grylls chopper in the chopping block, because I may have to chop some more vegetables. Good idea, folks. It's fake Bear Grylls knife, and I'm not into perpetuating knockoffs, but I wanted to do a comparison video, and I they were out of stock on the US website. I was gonna buy a real one and compare it to this one. Couldn't get one. I mean, I could have made a better effort, I guess, but I did not get one. I failed. So that video is not gonna happen. All right, just get this back to going. All right, folks. Wife number one brought me a cold beer out. Work it, baby, work it, work it, work it, work it. All right, baby, can you give me, never mind, I got one right here. Thank you. Watch yourself, watch yourself. It's coming off, baby. Watch yourself. Now, folks, that steam gonna come off of there. All right, not too bad. We got a little sizzle going on. Just give it a quick stir. Needs a little bit of water. Needs a little bit of water. Now be careful when you're cooking like this, because if one of these coals gives out, it'll splash that hot ass water on you. This is one of them situations. Hey, baby, I need some water, please. Look at that. All right, so apparently she didn't get the word that I needed some water. Now, what this thing does against the lean, I mean, you got to take some action. Now, I'll bring it down like that right there. Okay. Now look, if you set it on this, yeah, if that was sturdy enough, then you just turn it around. But on my little grill, that grate is not sturdy enough, and I'm scared that it's gonna pop out, whatever, and be like a spring. So I just set this thing on the coals, and I adjust it as the coals, you know, start burning down. Thank you very much, honey.
Water, please.
Now look, here's a secret about cabbage, okay? If you think that cabbage, if you think the cabbage is not gonna fit in there, look folks, you can put cabbage into anything and it will perfectly just blend in. It's gotta sit on top for a minute, but you put that cabbage in there, that cabbage will just soak up that water and it'll get down in there like a champion. So it might not look pretty. Might not look pretty to begin with. And one might try to jump out, but look. Let me show you. This big tower of cabbage right here. Man, let me get a. See, that's the other thing too. With a cell phone, I'm taking the thumbnail while I'm cooking. You can't do that with a normal camera. Well, I guess you could, but it's not as easy as just what I did. I'll let that cook down for a second, then I just throw the lid on there. Or you can just throw the lid on it now, squish it down. I need some of that water to boil off first. Folks, I'm gonna tell you right now, whether you believe me or not, the smell coming off of that cabbage mountain over there, it's just absolutely delicious. And the only flavor cubes in there are those two Knorr, you know, one pork, one chicken. They're both pretty good. Even the beef are pretty good. But when you add that cabbage mountain on top of any stew, soup, anything you make like that, it just takes it to the next level. You know, when you're younger, I guess you're not into cabbage too much, but if you ever start cooking with cabbage, you can fry it, you can grill it, you can put it in your soup. Folks, that cabbage is like a natural spice. That's how else do I say it? The gentleman over there can't get the motorbike started. Ain't got no gas in it. Put some gas in it, it might get the thing going. Out there rolling strong through there. And maybe that gentleman to get it started, but look, you may not be able to tell already, but the cabbage mountains already started to mix and mingle with the rest of the players up here in the large 3.2 quart cast iron combo cooker. Made in America by the good folks down in South Pittsburgh. One lesson about filming on a cell phone, you got to put the do not disturb on. But you know what? If you're expecting an important call, you don't put it on. And that was an important call. It's a gentleman who, not Dawn, but another buddy of mine that has gone down to pick up my little girl in Manila. So we're just waiting on everything to line up where we can go down there and pick her up. And it hasn't worked out like I thought it was going to. But patience, my friends. You know, 2020 is the year of patience. You know, I hate to give fucking Chinese any fucking credit. But, you know, I think Confucius said that. Patience is a virtue. Or it could have been Tupac. I don't know. Nothing against my Chinese friends, I love you, but fucking Chinese communist government right now is a fucking problem. And we as the world got to do something about it. Just like we got to do something about these fucking barking dogs over here. But you know what? I'm leaving it in the video. Because any of you guys who think about moving to the Philippines, I got something to tell you. There ain't no fucking 911. You can't call 911 and say, hey, there's a barking dog over there. You can't call the fucking dog catcher and say, hey, my neighbor's dog is fucking driving me crazy. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? As a foreigner, you don't say shit. Now the locals might talk to locals and try to work it out, but as a foreigner, keep your fucking mouth shut. That's your fucking course of action when it comes to barking dogs and you're not in your home country. Way it is. I overfilled it, right? And it's overflowing into the fire. And if you're cooking on your stove, you don't want to make a big ass mess, right? But when you're cooking over an open fire or open coals, who gives a shit if it overflows and makes a mess? It's going to overflow. It's going to slow down the coals, which is going to slow down the cook. It's going to boil off anyhow. And you know what? It just makes the air smell just delicious around here. So that's another reason I like cooking outside, outdoor cooking. I don't gotta worry about making a mess. When this cooking table tonight, when I get done drinking, we just throw that damn tub of water over it, wash it off. It's no big deal. So just let that, even though I did fill it too full, the end result is gonna be exactly what I want. And I'm not worried one bit about that overflowing a little bit. And once it boils out and overflows, I'll stick the lid on it. That sunset, folks. That sun will come down through those palm trees and over those mountains, and I will never get tired of watching that sunset. Check it out. I told you that cabbage would cook down. All you got to do, use a little bit of tactical patience on that cabbage, and you let that cabbage cook down. Throw the lid on there. Oh shit, doing a gangster lean. What you gotta do is keep adjusting it. Baby, who's doing the cooking, me or you? Huh? What do I do? Just keep my charcoal going. I'm almost out of charcoal. I just throw that dude over there. Get that guy going. Just put him over there right like that. Because she brought the meat out, so as soon as my soup is done, then I'm going on with the grill operations. Got some onions to go on the grill and a couple pork chops over there. Are you guys salt and pepper, baby?
No pepper.
No pepper? Okay, well, baby, is there any reason that you need to stir the salt to freshen it up? What's going on?
Mix.
My God, folks, you see the stress that I'm under on a daily basis? Alright, so while this thing's puffing out steam, you know, it's not a pressure cooker, but that lid is so heavy, it's putting a little bit of pressure on that. Just pumping it out, folks. I put this charcoal here to make sure it gets going for my grilling operation that's about to come up. You know, think ahead. Folks, I'm a goddamn barbecue chess player. I'm not playing checkers, I'm playing chess when it comes to the game of barbecue. folks, let's check it. I don't know, been about another 10 minutes. Oh yeah, look at that. My goodness. A little bit longer, a little bit longer. 2 more pluses to using the iPhone. Number one, if your tripod falls over, chances are your iPhone gonna survive the drop, especially if you got it in some type of case. Most of this iPhone's life, it was in an OtterBox case. Now it's in a slim Apple case. Your equipment's probably gonna survive. If I knocked over that big Sony camera on my tripod for whatever reason, you know, if I try to walk away and the damn lapel mic somehow or another gets caught up and pulls it over, that's $1,600 laying on the floor broke. You know, how many times have you dropped your phone? You know, you probably dropped it several times. Maybe 1 in 10 drops ends up in a cracked screen, but it might still work. That's another reason, you know, I'm thinking, fucking, I ain't spending $4 grand on a big ass camera. Going with the iPhone, putting it in a OtterBox case or a life-proof case, you know, something durable. So that's another reason right there. Now folks, what we're gonna do here, I think we're gonna switch up. And the old lady, wife number 1, I told her, I said, listen, baby, you can't take over the grill unless you put your hair down, because you were looking so haggard. So what she did, she went, she put her hair down, changed her shorts. Baby, turn around, let's see that wardrobe. Oh my goodness! Now she's still wearing the same dirty ass shirt that she's been wearing for like 18 days straight.
Wow, 18 days, wow, grabe ka.
Gravity. Baby, I'm throwing that shirt away because I don't like it. Folks, got some big trucks coming through here. Rolling out from working on the river upstream. And maybe I'll get out tomorrow and take a hike upstream and see what they got going on with the river up there. I've been doing improvements for a long time. But this young lady right here is gonna take over the grill as soon as I get done with my soup. I'm not done with my soup yet, baby. I need about 3 more minutes on the soup. And she's gonna take over the grill because what she was saying was she does not want the meat to look like charcoal. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know, if you know what I'm talking about, I like to cook my meat black, just like I like my women. I like my women black. I like my charcoal, not my charcoal. I like my meat black, looking like charcoal. Okay, now here's another thing. You see how I'm zooming in on this stuff right here and I'm still talking to you? You're still getting the same audio on this lapel mic right here. Now you take a big ass camera and try to do all of these shots that I'm doing without a cameraman, your ass gonna be tired as hell if you can pull it off. Now put that charcoal right there to make sure it starts, and it looks like it's got started. So I'm gonna set her up for success as soon as my soup is done, but I'm gonna serve no rhymes before their time, baby.
Finish na eh.
Baby, it's not finished. It needs 1 more minute. I got an internal timer. When the sun goes down over the mountains, that means my soup is done. All right, folks, I had to dispatch wife number 1 to get me a couple more beers because, well, I'm out of beer. Now, this is probably going to take 2 hands because when you load this thing up, folks, it takes 2 hands to get it off of there. I'm going to have to put the phone on the tripod or just, you know what, I'll just pause it. All I'm going to do is take it off and I'll set it down on the tile top. And, you know, thanks to Faye, she stole these 3 pieces of tile, I think, from our friend. Borrowed them. We'll just say borrowed. And I'll just set it down on this tile top. I mean, I could set it on this wood, but I set it down on the tile top. Kind of put the handles over there away where wife number 1 don't burn herself. And then I'm going to set up her grill and she's going to go to work on that meat right there. She's going to put the meat on the heat. All right, folks, so I've successfully got the lodge set over there. Now look, the charcoal is too big. Now you got to be careful. you know, doing this, but what you do, you take the fake Bear Grylls knife and just kind of shove it in there, break it up a little bit. And be careful doing this because sometimes it'll pop. Make sure you got some safety glasses on. I'm wearing Wiley X. Model of sunglasses I wear, folks, everybody asks me, it's Wiley X Aero. In particular ones that I wear, they're actually discontinued. Keep up with my look. I had to order some out of Australia. That's the only place I could find them at the time. So I ordered 2 pairs, had them shipped to Big Money Benny, and he had to put them in a FedEx pack and get them to me. Thanks for doing that, my friend. All right, so that's all I'm gonna do. You know, folks, when you're working with a $3 knife, whatever I pay for this thing, you don't really care about doing stuff like this. But you know, that thing all broken up there, with the Bear Grylls on it. Oh shit! I almost poked a hole in my barbecue grill. All right, let's get that done. The Bear Grylls over here. Does a bear take a shit in the woods? Well, of course it does. But if nobody's there to see it, does it make any noise? I don't know. Same as a tree. All right there. Everybody wants to know, I wouldn't eat no food from a man wearing construction gloves while he cooks. All right, well, don't eat my food, motherfucker. There's more left for me and these Filipinos over here. When you're goddamn barbecuing and you're fucking lifting hot ass cast iron, drinking beer, and rocking it out, these fucking gloves have been champions. And I don't know shit about Hardy, to be honest, but shout out to Hardy Professional Series gloves. It's just my mother bought these somewhere. I don't know if she got them at Walmart on sale, but these things have been a champion for me. They've been a great deal. Baby, thanks for that beer. Thank you very much. All right, you ready to come over here and go to work? I think I got it set up for you, baby. Ooh, shake that booty, baby. Now shake that booty. Now shake that booty. Folks, this girl right here got a booty so big. My goodness. I love waking up to that, going to bed to that, snuggling with that. I like big butts and I cannot lie. And you other brothers can't deny. All right, baby, you still didn't change your shirt. Now look, folks, if you have a tripod or a cameraman, then this is the vantage point that you can get, right? But with a cell phone, my hand's not gonna get tired holding this view right here. I mean, it probably will after about 4 or 5 minutes. But if I'm holding my big camera, I can tell you, it's gonna be in a matter of like 30 seconds. Your hand's gonna get wore out trying to hold that up there. Yeah, look at that, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's rock it out, baby. Now, folks, if you're not familiar with Times Square, right there is our chicken and our fish lady. Over here, this gentleman's got, what's he got, baby? Fish balls over there?
Yeah.
Selling fish balls. And we got the chicken dude. The chicken dude's on the far side. You can't see him, but you see his umbrella over there. Oh, yeah, baby. Lay it down. Lay it down. Now, folks, you know what I'm getting a warning right now is a low battery, 20% warning. But I did that on purpose. I wanted to show y'all how long I can make a video on this battery of the iPhone 8 Plus. No need for external batteries, or, I mean, trust me, very easily I can go plug in a power bank, whatever. But we have shot probably an hour and a half, coming up on 2 hours of video footage with just the charge on this iPhone. And that's what I'm talking about. If I go with that iPhone 12 when it comes out, or whatever the next thing they're gonna call it, go with the smaller screen and the battery pack, the battery case. That's what we're going with. And folks, take a look at that sunset right there. My goodness. When it hits that palm tree, starts going down over that mountain. Got smoke from the barbecue grill. Got a beautiful Filipino over here as the grill master, rocking it out. I mean, how does life get any better than that? Beautiful lady, palm tree, sunshine, barbecue. I mean, if I had the beach in the background, it'd be complete. You just can't see the beach. I'll be home with you tonight. Doing wrong, start doing right. Baby, I'm gonna stop doing wrong. I'm gonna start doing right. What you think?
Drinking.
But I think I'll just stay here and drink. Now, baby, listen, don't burn the meat because I entrusted you with my precious barbecue grill. And it looks like you might be burning the meat, baby.
It's already charcoal.
Get some more sauce on there, baby. Hey, what about this man over here? You know, forgot about that dude.
It's not big in here.
He'll fit on there if he was on my grill. I stack him in there like I stack women in my bed, baby. There's always room to go up, like in a condo. Yeah, put a little more on there. A little more. Oh, yeah, working, baby. 3. Think I'll just stay here and drink. Folks, here's a look at Times Square. What's tonight, baby? Saturday? It's a Saturday night overlooking Times Square. Here in the Philippines, everybody is out and about, walking around. It is just now starting to get busy. Oh shit, got Jollibee rolling through strong. Folks, if you don't know it, right up the street up there, we got a brand new Jollibee. So you got Jollibee delivery rolling strong. Baby, how much do you love Jollibee? You love it, don't you? You like Mang Inasal better? I do too. I like Mang Inasal. I do not like Jollibee. But I'm gonna tell you what I do like is them chops right there and that chicken. Man, if I had some bread from Angel's Bakery, oh my goodness, I'd make me a big old sandwich tonight with some Grey Poupon. Pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon? Now, baby, it's starting to look a little haggard on this meat, baby. I'm just kidding. I like it dark. Keep darkening that meat up, baby. I need it about.
That's not the same.
Baby, I need it 10 shades darker. I need it 10 shades darker. Keep cooking it. Whichever one is mine, leave it on there for 15. No, make it 20 more minutes. Okay, whichever one is mine, baby. I needed 20 more minutes on there, and then mine will be good. I don't care if you give me a piece of chicken or a piece of pork. Just leave it on there for 20 more, baby. Let's get down to business here. There's a look at it right there, my friends. Or you know what? You can leave this last one for me, baby. Hey, leave the last piece for me, and I'll cook that to my standards. 10% on the battery, folks. Folks had to bust out the Red Man. I ain't got no cigar, so I got to go in, get me a chew. Let me show you something else. If you're holding a big ass camera, you can't do shit like this. You know what I mean? Only with a cell phone and a GoPro. Now listen, if you're not from the country, you may not understand this, but that smells absolutely delicious. Baby, take a smell of this Red Man here. You gonna smell it?
That smells bad.
It's a good smell, baby. Well, folks, what you gotta do, reach in there, get you a big ass chew of tobacco. Oh shit, I've been drinking too much. I dropped half of it on the floor. Hell yeah. Smell big old damn chew of tobacco. Gotta finish up. Hey, you chew tobacco, you gotta spit. That sun going down over that mountain right there. Ain't nothing like a chew of red man tobacco. Goddamn cold beer. Badass woman. Barbecue. Overlooking Times Square. Some fucking cats up there. Folks, there's my sunset. Let me get the right angle for the dangle. That's my sunset. I got a chew of red man in my mouth. I got a cold beer in my hand. I got a beautiful Filipina with a big old booty over there chomping down. Taste testing the meat. I got a barbecue, palm tree, a mountain. I mean, look at that. It's okay to be jealous. It's okay to be jealous of me. I got a motherfucking Ace tabletop grill. I got a large 3.2 quart cast iron combo cooker made in the United States of America by the good folks down in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. With some goddamn chicken soup in there I made. I ain't taking the lid off right now because I will serve no rhyme. Hey, that's not taste testing, baby. That's eating half the food before we serve it up. Honey, do you understand the difference between a taste test and eating half the food? Folks, this girl has ate food about 8 times today, at least, maybe 9. She had 9 meals today. That's okay, baby. You eat all you can eat, because I like big butts in a can. I lie. You other brothers can't eat that. Folks, sun going down over Times Square. It's a Saturday night here. We got people rolling strong on a Saturday night overlooking Times Square. Girl using that fake Bear Grylls knife, chopping them up, chopping them up, chopping them up, baby.
This is where the players play. What I'm talking about.
Folks, my piece of meat right here. I told her, say, whatever my piece is, leave that bad boy on there. But let me show you the final products here, folks, because I'm about to conclude this video. Hold on, let me spit. Finish my chew of tobacco. My goodness, I'm feeling fucking straight on a Saturday night. I want you to check out this meat. Absolutely delicious. Now my piece is going to be on there about another 20. Folks, I want you to look at that soup. My goodness, they're gonna love that soup. And listen, you know, I always sweeten it up, make it like a little creamy, but they don't like that. I made it the way they want it. I did not put the magic syrup, but I did make it the way the Filipinos want it, because I'm just a nice guy like that, and I'm a king, but I worry about everybody's feeling in the kingdom. Now look, I want to thank everybody for joining me on this long ass video. Listen, I still have about 15% battery life left on the iPhone 8 Plus. Now, when I get drunk, I can't edit shit, I gotta record when I'm drinking and edit sober. That's the way I write my books. I wrote my books, my 2 books, and the ones I've started while drunk on rum, but you can't edit anything while you're drunk. You can't do it. Bag, knock 'em, bag, knock 'em, bag. You can't do it. So the sun has went down, the food is ready, and tomorrow I'm gonna edit this video, and I'm gonna make this video as long as I can possibly make it to show you guys that you don't need $5,000 worth of equipment to make a badass YouTube video. You just don't need it. Put your phone in a little mount on a little small tripod, get you a lavalier mic, and you can make great videos. I mean, not that we're getting into low light now, but I mean the sun is going down. And admittedly, once it gets dark, once you get to low light, that's when the cell phone falls apart. But unless you're shooting real extreme low light scenes, you don't need to spend $5,000. I probably left out a few points about why I'm gonna go after the next generation of iPhone. I'll go with the Pro with the smaller screen. And maybe I should give you a visual. Well, fuck, I'm too drunk. I was gonna give you a visual of all my camera equipment in there. And then you clear all that camera equipment off, like 10 grand worth of camera equipment, and just lay an iPhone down with a lab mic. That's 50 bucks. That's all you need, my friends. So I'm gonna work on my piece of meat here. And what I like to do is smoke mine. So what I like to do, take that bad boy, put the lid on it, let it rock on. Shout out to wife number 1 for helping me cook. Shout out to Faye. Shout out to everybody, everybody at the birthday party today. Before she went to his 2nd birthday party. And I'm so glad that he's starting to get to interact with the other children around here, because he's been locked down. Basically since his 1st birthday, he's been locked down. That's just not good for his learning and learning how to be social with other people. And thanks to my beautiful wife number 1 over there. My goodness, look at that. Fatima, put my piece of meat back on the grill. Alright, okay, I'm gonna trust you. Baby, listen, I'm gonna trust you, but if that meat ain't done, let me just smoke it. Yeah, I'm gonna conclude the video. I'm gonna conclude it, folks. And then tomorrow I'm gonna edit this thing. It's gonna be a long ass video. Thanks for joining me. If you are not a subscriber on my channel, I got no idea what you're doing with your life. I really don't. Get on board my channel, bottom right hand corner of your screen, somewhere right in here. Hit that overstay road sign. Click the subscribe and the notification bell, because I ain't got no production schedule. I'm abstract.